Yes, YouTube and Rumble, everybody. We're live on both of them. Hopefully,
All right.
Swayze shows up and Bub's Cat. I know they're on the one channel. So we're here with Skull and Bros number 4 with myself, Clint Esposito, and my friend Rasmus. What's up, Rasmus?
What's happening, everybody? What's up, Tim?
How are you doing?
Good. I guess good. I was at the dentist yesterday and had a big ass tooth, like a wisdom tooth pulled,
Yeah.
and so I have about 6 stitches inside of my mouth, and I'm a bit swollen, but it's not bad. The pain isn't too bad. It was last night was a pain in the ass, but actually when I woke up, I was pretty all right, and I can eat too, so I'm happy.
Did they give, like, you're not that swollen. Whenever I've gotten mine done,
Nah,
my face is like,
no. Mine. Even yesterday, it wasn't that bad, but it's hard to see, I guess. But on this side, it's a really like hard dent.
yeah.
But she actually, that's what she said. Anyways, it's my so my wife's brother's wife. She's a dentist, so she helped me, and she said they had to saw into the to my jawbone, like
Mm-hmm.
to get it up. I don't know. It looks messed up inside, but I feel pretty alright.
I think from being hurt so much, my body got used to swelling that like my swelling response was like way too strong to everything.
Uh,
Like later on in my career, because something would happen and I would just like swell up like crazy. I'm like, what is going on here?
uh,
Um,
yeah, I
s
don't have that, man. I usually don't swell too badly.
that's good. Like I said, I think my body got so hyper like trying to heal stuff that like as soon as anything would happen, I would just most of the issues that I would have with injuries would be the amount of swelling I would get, which would then cause like extra
Oh,
bruising and stuff like that. Um,
I see.
so what we're going to talk about today is the alleged TikTok ban, which is at least how they're spinning it right now. But if
Mm-hmm.
anybody has heard anything about the actual bill itself, I think there's a bunch of other stuff to be concerned about. You know, it's like everything, right? What the heck is the other thing? The Patriot Act. Did you hear
Yeah, I've
about
heard
that?
about that too.
Okay, so it was the same thing. The Patriot Act, basically, after 9/11, just
Mm.
made it okay for the government to spy on us,
Yeah.
more so than they were before. So,
But this one though, the TikTok Act or whatever it's called,
yeah, I can't even
is
find what it's actually called right now.
no. I found it. The Restrict Act.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Restrict Act. This says, but so are they claiming that the point of this bill is to what? To ban TikTok because TikTok is bad for you, or is it because the Chinese government is spying on everybody?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Uh,
They're like we need to be able to I don't know what they're actually claiming that here it was. So I got Reuters pulled up.
mm,
White House backs Senate bill to boost the ability to ban TikTok. But I just like that this is how the narrative that they're going on everything.
yeah.
The White House backed legislation introduced on Tuesday by a dozen senators to give the administration new powers to ban Chinese owned video app TikTok and other foreign based technologies if they pose national security threats.
Uh-huh.
Um, Hold on, I was seeing if we had. Uh, the endorsement boosts efforts by a number of lawmakers to ban the popular app, which is owned by Chinese company, blah, blah, blah. Bill would give the Commerce Department the ability impose restrictions up to and including banning TikTok and other technologies that pose national security risks, said Democratic Senator whatever. Uh,
Oh. That is so unclear.
yeah, exactly.
It's funny how they always make it super unclear,
Well, yeah.
so no one knows what it actually means.
It would also apply to foreign technologies from China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, Venezuela, and Cuba, he said. The thing is that it doesn't just limit it to other countries, it's just like anything we deem to be a security risk, you know what I mean? They're like, we'll just be like, oh, sorry, and ban that. Because
Yeah.
there's even something. Uh, the bill would require Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo to identify and address foreign threats to information and communications technology products and services. She declined to comment. So that you're putting this one person under, I guess it's basically all up to them. They can just decide whether something's a security risk or not.
Yeah.
TikTok has come under increasing fire over fears that user data could end up in the hands of the Chinese government. The senators introducing this legislation, led by Warner and Republican John Thune, also includes Democrats Tammy Baldwin, Joe Manchin, Michael Bennett, Kirsten Gillibrand, and Martin. I thought that. Oh, okay, yeah, Republicans. Debbie Fisher, Jerry Moran, Dan Sullivan, Susan Collins, and Mitt Romney. I thought somebody else, Cruz or something, was. Hold on, I
Hmm.
guess we'll get to that.
So wait, so both, like, is there some Democrats and some Republicans who are like they're actually agreeing on something?
Yes, which
And
may
it's,
is a
of
warning
course,
sign.
yeah, it's, of course that's horrible for the people, right?
Yeah. Warner said it was important for the government to do more to make clear what it believes are national security risks from TikTok. It's going to be incumbent on the government to show its cards in terms of, yeah, right, how this is a threat. The White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan praised the bipartisan bill, saying it would strengthen our ability to address discrete risks posed by individual transactions and systematic risks posed by certain classes of transactions involving countries or concern in sensitive technology sectors. That also was very vague.
Unclear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so vague. It's not even funny.
We look forward to continue working with both Democrats and Republicans on this bill and urge Congress to act quickly and send it to the president's desk. Uh,
Oh. Oh.
Raimondo, in a separate statement, said she welcomes the legislative framework for addressing these threats and protecting Americans' safety and national security, and vowed to work with senators to advance this legislation through Congress.
What? Why is I never understood like this is probably a really stupid thing to say, but like uh
Maybe not.
anyone listening who's looked into the 9/11 stuff, I don't know. To me, it's pretty obvious that it wasn't like a it wasn't what they made it seem to be.
What?
And yeah, but
Razes, what are you saying?
even that aside, like I always hear Americans talk about their security, and like, but I'm like, no one ever tried to attack you guys ever. Like who?
We're in a place where you really can't unless you're Mexico or Canada
Yeah,
or
and you're gonna smoke both of them easily.
but my
Like
point is
how?
you could like somebody would have China say would have to like work a deal with Mexico or Canada, you know what I mean, to like be on our border because otherwise, yeah, we're pretty much separated from
Yeah, I never
basically.
got that. Like they push that so much, and I guess a lot of it is because of 9/11. But it's weird to me how they talk about that stuff so much, and it's always so vague. Also, like secure from what?
Well,
As if they know that
now it's
your
internet.
government can spy on you.
Now it's
Yeah,
internet security, so now they just have this whole other blanket of like BS to throw out.
yeah, because like what internet security can be anything. If you go by wokeness, it's like if I'm on the internet, I risk being offended, and I'm not secure on the internet anymore.
Well, this is what the
We have to stop it. God damn it!
exactly. Well, this is what the whole gray area is, right?
Yeah,
Like, who is this lady that's the arbiter of whether or not you know what I mean? We can.
yeah,
This is a security risk or not. You know. Uh, We should. So Marco Rubio is the one that I was like, who is the big Republican person who they didn't mention in that? But Senator Marco Rubio told Fox News on Tuesday that Warner's bill doesn't go far enough, saying
What?
that it takes steps in the direction of banning TikTok in the United States. We should pass a bill that bans TikTok, Rubio said. I have only bipartisan bicameral, I don't know what the hell that word is, bill that actually does that. The House Foreign Affairs Committees last week voted along party lines on a bill sponsored by Republican Representative Michael McCall to give Biden the power to ban TikTok after President Donald Trump was stymied by courts in 2020 in his efforts to ban TikTok and Chinese messaging app WeChat. Democrats opposed McCall's bill, saying it was rushed and required due diligence, though through debate and consultation with experts. Some major bills aimed at China, such as a CHIPS funding bill, took 18 months to win approval. McCall said he thinks the full House could vote on his bill this month. Like, what wasn't in that bill? They didn't take enough of our civil liberties in that first bill that was proposed. Or
Probably.
like,
Yeah. I wonder why a lot of stuff like this is happening in the U.S. I wonder why they're not doing it here so much. Maybe they don't need to. We're not as much of a threat
they probably, yeah,
to
well,
anything.
I don't know that it's really that it's these things are threats. You know what I mean? I think it's like they want to. We use foreign things like 9/11, right? To be like, we're not safe from invaders. And then they scare everybody into a tizzy. You know, it's the same thing like people joining the army skyrocketed after 9/11.
Of course, yeah.
You know, then they passed the Patriot Act, which took a bunch of our, freedoms as far as them being able to spy on you and shit like that. It's like they constantly, it's such a joke anyway, right? Because all these people that shoot places up have had some, like, I want to say 80% of them have had some kind of ties with the FBI or something, or at least have been talked to, or like
Yeah.
are on some kind of list. And then you're like, well, then what? Well, they didn't do anything. Well, isn't that what the hell kind of a fucking premise
Yeah.
is this? You have to let them hit the towers to then be like, okay, we need to look into you guys. Like, it doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
None of it makes sense. I mean, there's so many, but I wonder why. I guess one thing that I've thought about a bit is because you guys have the Constitution, right? I mean, every country has one, I think, but the U.S. is probably the only one with the Second Amendment. Isn't that the gun one?
Yes. First Amendment's freedom of speech. Second
Yeah.
Amendment's right to have and bear arms.
Yeah. So I think that is a huge problem for the globalist people in the
Yes.
U.S. Because here they could just come to your house and do whatever they want. We don't
Yeah.
have guns. Only the criminals here are allowed guns, which is
Excellent.
hilarious. Uh, and and also, at least I think all of Scandinavia really, we are in general very compliant,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, it makes it so easy for them to do whatever.
Yeah. It's hilarious. Like, I don't get. I mean, yeah, the gun thing. We'll get on that another time. But that's
Yeah,
that's
sure.
a whole another thing, and it's not. I don't want to use science, but it's proven that places with like where people carry guns more are safer because guess what? Even the last shooting in Tennessee, not the bank one, the trans person,
Yeah.
they said they were going to go to another school, but that they had guards. So then they went to the school that was like a gun-free school zone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you know what? They didn't want to get shot back at.
Yeah. But I guess, well, that's it if you compare state by state in the U.S. But if you compare a state that allows guns in the
yeah,
U.S. with a country that doesn't, I think that, like, for example, we never had a school shooting here, like,
yeah,
ever. I don't think, you know. We've had a few, like, we had some dude run into a school with an axe or something. He chopped a few people down. Like, we've had some horrible stuff happen, but nothing like it never happens here. So
yeah,
that's their argument
right,
is we don't have guns, so it can't happen. But on the other hand, then who has guns in Sweden? The criminals have guns,
yeah,
and I can't defend myself against that unless I can have a gun too.
right,
So it's like I don't know. I don't even know my own opinions on that point because we don't talk about it here so
right.
much. But you have it. I don't see how it's possible to get rid of it, and I don't think you should, to be honest.
There are so many guns in this country
Yeah,
that are probably not even, registered and stuff
of
like
course.
that
Yeah.
that were bought a long time ago or handed down or whatever, that it's like near impossibility to get all of the guns out of everybody's
Yeah,
hands. And like you said, the people that are going to still have them are probably going to be the people that are not worried about the law saying it's illegal.
yeah,
Somebody that's going
yeah,
to shoot a place up is going to be like, well.
yeah, exactly.
So I pulled up a article from The Hill, which it at least says why a bill that could ban TikTok is raising privacy concerns. So this is
Mm,
basically the only thing that I've found where it voices this stuff in a written manner. I think Rogan may have gone over the act with somebody
I
that
saw a clip. Yeah.
yeah, that's smarter than I am, but this is what it is at the point. Um, Okay, the Restrict Act, led by Senator Mark Warner, Democrat from Virginia, is touted by supporters as a way for the administration to review and potentially ban services without solely targeting the controversial video app. See, without solely targeting, the way
Mm.
other GOP backed bills do. See, that even sounds worse because now they're not solely targeting that app, which is what the whole issue is, TikTok, right? Because now
Oh yeah.
it's more of a broad sweeping. Although the broader scope may evade issues of targeting one company, digital rights groups, industry officials, and privacy experts are sounding the alarm that the Restrict Act poses concerns that could limit Americans' freedom online. Critics argue the proposal is overly broad about what companies it would target and who would be on the receiving end of enforcement. There's a risk of unintended targets that could be consequences for businesses or individuals that inadvertently get swept up in this, said Daryl West, a senior fellow with the Center of Technology Innovation at Brookings Institution. The bill doesn't explicitly set out to ban TikTok or any app, but gives the Commerce Department. The Commerce Department? What is the Commerce Department doing with national security? Like, what do they know about national
Yeah.
security? Isn't that just money? Like, what the hell?
It sounds weird.
It gives the Commerce Department power to identify and mitigate risks from technology linked to foreign adversaries, including China, North Korea, Iran, Russia, Cuba, and Venezuela, including by banning the technologies. TikTok is
But
owned. Go ahead.
mm, no, I was just gonna say they say all those countries, but also the U.S. Right?
Well, they don't exclude the U.S., is what it is.
Mm.
Uh, TikTok is owned by Chinese based company ByteDance, which some lawmakers say poses national security risks involving the storage and sharing of U.S. user data. Like, here's my whole thing. Unless government officials are on TikTok with information on their phones, I don't understand how this is a risk. How is it a risk that they are gathering information from 16-year-old girls doing stupid dances on TikTok? How does that
Oh,
risk our security? Somebody explain that to me.
I think I can explain it actually because I heard Rogan talk about this. You know when you join, I don't have TikTok, so I don't know, but when you join it, and you know
The user terms or whatever and
the
agreements.
terms and yeah, services. In that, you know what it says? Not only can they access your phone, they can access phone devices near you. So if you're in a cafe, they can access everyone in the
Wow.
same Wi-Fi or in the same. Yes, that's what Rogan said. Anyways, he was reading it out from the thing on his podcast, and I was like, "That's fucked up."
Yeah.
Like that is actually kind of fucked up. But either way, though, if TikTok is the problem, why wouldn't you just make a law that says TikTok is now illegal?
Well, I think they're trying to.
Take it off. Like,
Yeah. Well, and some of that sounded like in what we've been reading, it sounded like there's some kind of law against specifically going after an individual company. I'm not really sure that that's true, but it said in this, it was said something like without specifically targeting a company. So I'm assuming maybe there's some kind of, you know what I mean? You're not allowed to do that for some reason. Um, a chief concern raised by the critics of the bill is that individuals who seek to use TikTok or any service banned under the rule it lays out would be punished. I mean, I don't know that that's really my fear. Uh,
well, I mean, if that's true, that's a huge problem.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to go after every individual. Like we love to do this in the U.S. Work backwards, right? Like we don't keep you have to have insurance so that if you get hurt, then the insurance can pay. But it's like we work everything. How about we work on keeping people healthy, and then they wouldn't have to go through this system and then have this thing pay them at the end. You know what I mean? It's like we work everything backwards instead of being like going after the company. We're gonna go after the guy that's using the product that's available. If a product is available, people are gonna use it. Like
obviously.
The digital rights group Electronic Frontier Foundation and the Fight for the Future, that's a lot, along with the ACLU, have all come out against the proposal. The groups are among critics that argue the bill could potentially punish individuals. Okay. Would the bill ban VPNs? Have you heard about this?
I've heard someone say it, but I haven't read the thing, so I don't know.
A VPN lets users search online without having an internet service provider or a third party see what sites they visit or their data. By using a VPN, a user can also access sites that are banned and is among the technical limitations of enforcing a TikTok ban. It is one way users in other countries that have banned access social media sites have been able to keep using those platforms. The legislation does not exclusively ban the use of VPN, but the broad scope of the bill could lead to it being interpreted that way, said Kayla Williams, Chief Information Security Officer at Devo. I thought they were just a band. A cloud native security and analysis for platform. The debate centers on a portion of the bill states that no person may engage in any transaction or take any other action with intent to evade the provisions of this act. There is not any clarification on what implications could be to an individual versus a corporation. Warner, of course, says the Restrict Act does not target individuals. Okay. What about a data privacy bill? Critics of the legislation and progressive lawmakers pushed against a TikTok ban have argued that Congress should instead be focused on a comprehensive data policy bill. The U.S. lags behind other nations without putting a comprehensive data privacy law on the books. The best solutions would be a national privacy bill because it would address the confidentiality of people's records and create consequences for companies that violate that. That sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
He said it is clear from the hearings in Congress that the problem is not just TikTok, but a whole social media ecosystem, he said. That doesn't sound any good. It went from sounding better to not sounding better.
Yeah.
Cressy thought, though, said it isn't an either or choice. The idea that we need a comprehensive data policy law and therefore the Restrict Act is bad is ludicrous. We need a comprehensive data privacy law, and we need something in place that deals with the issue of foreign-owned apps in countries of concern. Okay, I mean, here's another thing I pulled up that's just kind of coincidental at this point. I suppose you'll be able to hear it.
Breaking news out of Canada right now, Justin Trudeau has sided with the NDP to push a bill through, Bill C-11, which is the internet censorship bill, with literally zero discussion. He has shut down all discussion. He has shut down all amendments to the bill, including senators that are on his side that are worried about some of the content that are in the bill. Basically, the government of Canada has said that if content is not deemed Canadian enough, it will not be allowed on the internet or for us to see. This includes not just independent journalists, however, authors, music creators, content creators. This is absolutely not a bill to push more Canadian content into Canada. It is an absolute censorship bill that the Canadian government will be able to control at all times. This means that we are not allowed to basically question anything that the Canadian government is doing online. We will not be able to share any Canadian information that goes against the Liberal agenda. This is absolute totalitarianism. This is not a democracy anymore. Canada has completely lost its plot with Justin Trudeau at the helm.
So there you go,
Oh
and
my
we're
God.
right behind it.
Yeah, but it'd be way harder to pull that shit in the US.
I mean, the thing
It must
is,
be.
they would just have to do it sneaky like they're doing. Do a bill and pretend like it's helping, whatever, and then,
Yeah, I guess.
you know what I
That
mean.
Trudeau guy, uh, uh, there's so many things you could say about
Dude,
that
have
guy.
you, let's see if you know this one. Have you seen the pictures of Trudeau and Castro side by side?
I have, yeah, I have, yeah. I looked at it, but I thought first I was like, that makes sense. Actually, he looks a lot like him. But then I was like, there's a lot of people who could look like him too. I
Well,
never dove deep enough
allegedly
on
his
that.
mom knew Trudeau.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah. Or, I mean,
Either
Castro,
way, that
sorry.
dude needs to go, man. He needs. I mean, he's probably the worst out of all of them that I see.
That's a bold statement, my friend. No, I don't know. He's pretty bad. As far as like a country like
He's
that,
one of the worst.
that's
Yeah.
like that's um a first world country that's
Yeah, well, of course, I'm not talking. I'm not comparing him to like the president of Zimbabwe or whatever.
right.
Like, just like Europe and like North America, he's probably the worst. Him and the dude in France. But the French are not taking that shit anymore, man. They're on
No.
the streets.
Yeah.
There's like 10 million people on the streets.
You know how much that's been shown on our TV?
Zilch.
0. You got to be
Yeah.
on these Rumble or this or that to be able to see this stuff, or like it pops up on your Instagram feed on accounts that they're shadow banning. But it's
Of
like,
course, yeah.
so I mean, and that's the rest of the issue with this, right? Is that once they decide all this, then they can just so let's say this: they can ban whatever app, social media platform that has security implications. Well, what about
Security.
Trump's Truth Social? You don't think that's going to be one of the first things on the chopping block?
Of course. And I mean, look at Rumble.
I was just going to say
Them, like,
Rumble.
all of those places are gonna be gone.
So here's another interesting thing about Rumble and Truth Social. My friend Nick, who pops up on here sometimes, which Ryan Swayze's in the YouTube room. What's up, Ryan?
What's up, Ryan?
Nick sent me something where he posted something talking like he made a comment about Trump, and on Truth Social it got friggin' censored or something happened, and then he's like, "Oh, you don't think that it's some," or maybe it was on Rumble. It was on one of them. He made a comment, and his comment got hidden, and Rumble is like the same server that does Truth Social. It's like the same group of people. And he goes, "Oh, isn't this weird?" So it's on both sides. Everybody's censoring everything that they don't like to hear, which is really unfortunate. Because you would like to think that, I mean, obviously Trump supporters. I'm not really a supporter of anybody. I wish somebody would come out and not be an asshat. You know what I mean? On either side, that would be amazing. But I mean, it's like just a way I think that if they do this, Truth Social, Rumble, they'll be the first things taken off any of the app platforms. I don't even know that you can get a Truth Social app in the App Store, to tell you the truth.
I have no clue. I've never been on there, actually.
Let me see if it's even in here. Where the hell's the App Store?
It's funny how they spin it, too. I don't know. My algorithms obviously is skewed to what I watch.
Yeah.
But, like, and I'm not an American, but if I was, I'd probably be on the right side, let's say, because I think the left has gone fucking nuts.
Oh, you can get it. I'm amazed.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
But it's funny, like, these days, anything that disagrees with whatever side it is, then they will say that that's an extreme, like, alt-right opinion.
Yeah.
Or, for example, like me, I talk about, it was hilarious. You know when Trump and Hillary went at it?
Yeah.
And Trump won. And, people in Sweden, because media here, all they did when Trump was elected, every day on the media here, they show why he's such a bad guy.
That's what they did here.
Yeah, and then when Biden gets elected, they never, not once did they show his ass like falling up the stairs or speaking in tongue and fucking messing everything up. And when I talk to people here about that stuff, it's not like I'm a Trump supporter. I couldn't care less. But it's funny to me. I just point out these things, and people automatically go, "Oh, you're a right wing, Trump supporter." I'm not. It's just crazy to me that I don't know. The way I see it is like, because we're not being shown the whole truth or the both sides of it.
Well, here's the issue. They've worked, and they're still working so hard to vilify Trump. That's all this stuff is to make him look like an asshole. And all that's going to happen, because even there are people, even my fiance in the beginning, she's like, Trump this and Trump that. And I said, you're not paying attention enough to just how they talk about any Republican. I go, what happened to Tulsi Gabbard? I go, she's a Democrat. What happened to Tulsi Gabbard? I go, they just did a smear campaign, right? And tried to make her look like a terrible person and get her out. I go, and she's a friggin' Democrat. I go, and the things that she says has been very rational, all of it. Yeah. And I'm like, so wait for whoever's nominated on the right side. I go, I don't care who it is. They're going to do the exact same thing. They're going to just do a media onslaught of how much of an asshole they are and all the things that they did wrong. And to your point, there is a ton of video of Biden saying racist ass stuff. Tons.
Oh, man, there's
and sniffing kids and
man, there's compilations on YouTube that are like an hour, 2 hours long with just him. I love watching it. It's hilarious to me. But the funny part too is like I said, I don't live in the U.S. Trump or Biden, I don't know. It's obvious to me now that Trump would be a better option than Biden. But I'm not saying that Trump is the best. He's not. But it's funny because looking at it from where I am, when I talk to people, everyone goes, "Oh, I hate fucking Trump. He's
Because
a
that's all
liar.
they've
He's
been
this."
told. Exactly.
Yeah, and then I ask, "So could you tell me a few of his policies that are really bad? Like, apparently he's a shitty politician. What did he do that was so bad?" And they have nothing. They have no answers. Like, and I'm like, if you have that, if your emotions are that strongly tied to this dude, you should be able to explain why.
You
At
should at
least,
least have one
yeah, one
concrete
thing. Like,
statement of why
yeah,
you're mad at him, other than, you know what I mean, he's mean, or the stories on, the news say whatever.
mm-hmm, yeah. And I
But
mean, if you say, "Oh, he's a liar," yeah, sure, sure, of course. But show me one politician who isn't a liar.
you know, the thing that really made me start to, and like you said, I realize Trump is super powerful, so obviously he has powerful friends. He's in with certain people. He's going to push certain agendas. But on the whole, um, as soon as he started, I guess maybe once he actually got nominated for the presidential run or whatever, all of a sudden, Bill Clinton, Obama, the Bushes, you know what I mean, John Kerry, all those guys all of a sudden grouped up together and were standing there like, no, Trump's bad. That was the
Yeah,
biggest signal to me. It's the same thing like when I say that as soon as every single news story news outlet runs the same story, like when we went from uh like in the whole pandemic thing, right?
yeah,
CNN's talking shit on Fox, Fox talking shit on CNN. And then all of a sudden they come together on vaccinations.
yeah,
All of a sudden both of them are pushing that. I'm like, okay, seems weird. Then they switched gears and just did a 180 and jumped straight to Ukraine. And they both they're talking shit on each other. And then all of a sudden Ukraine, and they're both like, Ukraine, Ukraine. And I'm going,
yeah,
okay, what is the deal with Ukraine? Why are we pushing that?
yeah. It's just a cover up for everything else. Like,
As soon as the sides get together and unify, it's a huge red flag to me, whether it's news or
yeah,
politicians. It's just like this bill, the restrict bill,
mm,
which is also a really weird name, right? You would think you would call it like Internet Freedom Act or some shit like that.
yeah.
But the restrict they're just being blatant now. They're just like, listen, we're just going to restrict the internet.
We're just gonna take all the freedoms, all them damn freedoms you got.
Exactly.
We're
Well,
gonna
so
take it all.
as soon as Republicans and Democrats are all like, "This is a good bill, we need to push," I'm like, "Oh shit, what is in this bill?" You know?
Yeah. Well, I just go straight to like, I don't care left or right. I think it's just a divisive thing. They don't run shit anyways. Like I don't, you
Well,
know.
that's my whole point is that they are allegedly diametrically opposed from one another. Democrat, Republican, CNN, MSNBC,
Yeah.
Fox. So then as soon as they go whoop and agree, it's like that's messages coming from above to be like, hey, we all really got to push this one thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's dude. I want to touch on something. Maybe should I leave it to the end? Maybe I want to touch on Nike and Bud Light. Have you seen that?
What did Nike do? Obviously, I saw the Bud Light thing, but
Yeah. So so the Bud Light thing. What's the dude's name? I'm not
uh,
gonna call her a she.
you're dead naming, all right?
Mulaney something.
Mulvaney or something.
Mul-
Dylan Mulvaney. I had
Mulaney.
no idea who the hell they were until they ended up on a Bud Light can.
Me neither. Apparently, she's got like 5 million followers, or he.
And advertising tampons.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing.
Because
So,
vegan diet gives you horrible diarrhea.
is he a
I
vegan?
don't know. I'm
He
just.
looks like it. Looks like a vegan with them skinny arms. But so yeah, Bud Light sponsored, or what way is it? They're sponsoring him.
Well, I don't know that they sponsored it. I don't know exactly what the
But
deal
it's like
is.
he's their like face.
I hope it's not
He's
their
the new face of Bud
spokesperson
Light,
now.
isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. If that's the new spokesperson and they start popping up on commercials, I don't know.
Well, I mean, they did make an ad. Did you see the ad?
No.
He's in a bathtub in a bikini, but he has no tits. Like he didn't even try. Like he has no skin in the game.
I'm pretty sure they.
At least buy some tits first.
I think he still has a dick.
Probably.
Let's see if I can find it. It's like did they not have any statistics of who their client is?
I don't know. I think it backfired pretty hard. I saw a video of Kid Rock where he's like next to a lake and he took an AK-47 and shot down a whole table of Bud Lights.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. But anyways, Nike did a deal with him also, where he's wearing like sports bras, wearing women like workout gear, which is hilarious to me because again, he has no tits.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know. If I was a woman, I'd be furious.
Well,
I'd be like offended. Like that. Why can't a woman do that?
Well, it's basically like that's the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Woman of the Year was a dude. Okay? All the fucking athletes that are winning women's sports used to be dudes. Like it's again the same thing. They've actually used LGBT whatever to hijack not only the gay movement but now the feminist movement.
Yeah.
It's literally squashed both of those two movements and just made it into a joke because these people can't. It's like they're not even committing. They haven't even chopped their penis off. You know what I mean? Like, if you're full intact male, just going, I'm a woman. Yes, all women should be mad that no other actual woman got on Bud Light.
Yeah. Yeah, and Nike, especially Nike, because she's actually selling sport bras.
Where is
it's nuts.
I'm trying to find the actual Bud Light commercial. Let's see if Ultra Right beer launches as rival to where the hell is the I like this story. It says no one at senior level of Bud Light knew Dylan Mulvaney ad campaign.
Wait, what?
This story is saying, the headline is, this is also the New York Post. It's saying that the executives at Bud Light had no idea that this was going to happen. Bud Light's controversial marketing deal with transgender social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney. So they didn't even change their name. They didn't even change their first name.
No.
The commitment level on this is like 0.
Yeah, nothing. It's like me if I just took my clothes off now and put a bra on. That's exactly what it is. It's like.
Oh my god. Okay, so
and that's some horse shit too. That the actual executives of the company didn't know what was happening.
So they got cans printed. Nobody knew. They sent these cans to print.
You know what? That was Larry. He works in a warehouse. He set this whole thing up.
He thought it was a hilarious joke.
He pranked us. He got us good. Hilarious.
The speculation that has ignited speculation that top executives at corporation parent Anheuser-Busch may have been blindsided by the tie-up when it was revealed. No one at a senior level was aware this was happening. An unnamed source told the Daily Wire. A conservative
unnamed source
told the Daily Wire, a conservative-leaning news site. This is why you can't listen to anything, you know. Marketing executives at Bud Light's parent Anheuser-Busch InBev have allegedly paused additional campaigns so they can implement a more robust vetting process for future projects, according to the report. Is this the video? No, that's not a video. I want to find the actual commercial. We can see here Dylan Mulvaney has a partnership with these brands.
Yeah.
Let's see. How the hell do you pull this off? Partnerships. Mulvaney's brand partnerships. According to the New York Post, Mulvaney has earned more than $1 million through promoting brands on social media. These companies cover everything from fashion and skincare to grocery shopping. Aritzia, I don't know what that is. CeraVe, Crest, Haas Labs, Instacart, K18 Hair, Kate Spade, Kind Snacks, KitchenAid, Ole Henriksen, Rent the Runway, Ulta Beauty. Ulta? Oh my goodness. Bro, I'm just...
Isn't it hilarious?
Dude, like, who is their manager? I need their manager. I need to speak with their manager right now.
Yeah.
I'm about to become a female comedian.
Yeah. Actually, you should become a female comedian because there's not enough of them out there.
That's right. I'm just trying to level the playing field and make sure that women get represented in the culture.
Yeah. And then you can be the first one to actually be funny too.
Oh.
Nah, that's not me being serious. There's a lot of funny ones out there actually.
There's definitely funny women out there.
Oh, for sure. But and then he did Nike also. Obviously women's Nike, right? Women's clothing.
Obviously, women's stuff.
Yeah. So I just don't understand. I don't understand. Where did he actually get famous from?
Just Instagram or whatever.
Really? So he didn't even... Because I could see kind of like how... what's the guy? Well, I mean, he was already famous. The Kardashian dude.
Yeah. Bruce Jenner. Chris.
The pioneer. He's the pioneer of the Chinese. He was already famous, but at least he done something with his life.
Let's see.
Before doing all this.
Mulvaney. I spelt it wrong. There we go. Wikipedia. Because Wikipedia's never wrong.
Of course not.
Hold on, I'm going to put it up so people can see what I'm reading. Dylan Mulvaney, born December 29th, 1996, is an American actress, comedian, and TikTok personality. When did they? She is known best for detailing her gender transition in daily videos on the social media platform TikTok since early 2022. In just 1 year, dude. In October 2022, Mulvaney interviewed U.S. President Joe Biden at the White House for the social media news organization Now This News. As of April 2023, she has more than 10 million followers on TikTok, while her video series Days of Girlhood has received over 1 million views. Dylan Mulvaney was born, blah, 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 San Diego, California. That seems the part. She graduated from the University of Cincinnati's College Conservatory of Music. They went from San Diego to Cincinnati for college? That's an interesting choice in itself.
Yeah, I don't know your country that well, but yeah.
It was a bad move.
It sounds like a bad move. Cincinnati, I never hear anything awesome about Cincinnati.
No. Or you're not going
No.
to?
No.
Mulvaney's, here's 2015-2020 early acting roles. Mulvaney's first significant role was as Elder White in the musical The Book of Mormon. Also seems fitting. Following her graduation from college, the musical led to Mulvaney's traveling across the U.S., Mexico, and Canada to play her role. Other roles included How the Grinch Stole Christmas at the Old Globe Theater, the play at the Birch North Park Theater, Next to Normal at Acts Off Broadway, Legally Blonde, Spring Awakening, Bye Bye Birdie, High School Musical. Around the onset of COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, she began posting videos to TikTok, which usually garnered a few 100,000 views. 2021-22 transition and initial media appearances. Mulvaney came out as a trans woman during COVID-19 pandemic while living with her very conservative family at her childhood home in San Diego. She began to document her gender transition in a daily series of videos published to TikTok titled Days of Girlhood in March 2022, and her videos began to gain in popularity. She said in an interview, "When the pandemic hit, I was doing the Broadway musical Book of Mormon. I found myself jobless and without creative means to do what I loved. So I pretended to be a woman." That's not what it says.
I was just gonna add that too. That's hilarious. But it says that she transitioned is what it said, right?
Yeah.
So, but I want to find. Can we find out? Does he still have a cock? Is there a way to find out?
Pull his pants down.
Yeah, if we can catch him, he seems fast. That lanky body.
That's true. He began to document. She began to document her gender transition in a daily series. I downloaded TikTok app, assuming it was a kids app. Once I came out as a woman, I made this day one of being a girl comedic video, and it blew up. I really don't know another place online like TikTok that can make a creator grow. Whatever. Some of these apps. In October 2022, Mulvaney appeared with gender fluid hairstylist David Lopes in a podcast for the cosmetics brand Ulta Beauty, during which she spoke about her childhood, her coming out as... Well, first off, the childhood was as a boy. So,
yeah.
I don't know how this pertains to this makeup.
This sounds like... Well, for one, it sounds like a fucking scam. Because if you just make one video, like the day of my first day as a woman, and it blows up, it would seem you have an incentive to keep doing that, even if you don't believe that you're an actual woman.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly.
How do you transition? Like, it just sounds funny to me. Like, she started her transition that day, and then, like, how does that work? So you put on a pair of panties the first day.
You can just decide.
You wear like dude clothes. Yeah, but it sounded like it was a process. It wasn't like overnight. So, like, maybe first day just panties. I'll just try them on, you know. Second day maybe panties and an earring.
I guess.
Second
I don't
week,
know.
You put on a blouse.
It's true. It's true, though. If they just decided and came out, then your transition is done, right?
How long does it take you to get dressed? That's all it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I'm a woman. It took me 20 minutes to get dressed this morning.
Yeah, that sounds like a woman.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. So it almost, unless they did get punked from Pete in accounting or whatever, it's like, yeah, it doesn't make very much sense to pull a scam like that. You know?
Yeah. But it's that thing, right? A lot of people do that. It's like someone will start a podcast and then notice that the audience really likes this one thing, so they will dive into that thing more because not because they like it so much, but because the audience likes it so much. You know, like people are cheering you on for doing something, then you're gonna
Yeah.
keep doing it.
You're going to go down that path a little bit further for sure.
Yeah, most people, not everyone. Some people stay real and stay stay
Well,
who they are no matter what. But
they are an actor.
are you talking about the dude?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
So if you've spent your life, which is, this is a side thing, but it's always made me laugh when it's like people are like, so and so vote, like Jennifer Lawrence voted for so and so, and I'm like, their talent is pretending they're someone else. What the
Yeah.
hell does that have to do with their political beliefs? Like, it doesn't affect
I
me
don't
at
get
all.
it.
That makes zero sense.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't get why anyone pays attention to celebrities that has nothing to do with politics, but they ask them political questions as if they were, you know, their opinion matters way more about politics than a normal person. It's like, no, they probably. I don't think LeBron James has time to dive into politics, to be honest.
Why would somebody that's good at throwing a ball through a hoop be your go-to to say that he dislikes this candidate or somebody that pretends to be somebody else? You know what I mean? None of it makes
Yeah,
any sense, but I think it's just people trying to find somebody else that backs up the way that, it's just like somebody else thinks this. They're successful. They're successful for pretending to be someone else. They're not successful for themselves. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, they didn't build a business. They didn't, you know what I mean? Save
Well, I mean,
lives.
they built something, right? They built a brand. Like they're great at
Yes.
what they do. They are. But like that's the same as me calling like, so I need my pipes fixed at my house, and I call a gardener. Like, why would I ask a gardener about fixing pipes? Like that seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people in real life who are like super well read on politics and stuff. I'll just ask them. I
Yeah.
wouldn't go to like David Beckham or Snoop Dogg for political input. Like, it seems ridiculous. But I mean, they're being used also by both the left and the right side, right? Dude, there's some people watching. Do you know who the Bob's cat? What's happening, Bob's cat?
Yeah.
Who is
So,
that? Is that one of your friends or something?
well, Bubs and Swayze always used to come on back when we were doing it before.
Oh,
So
all right.
they've been kind of missing the feed, so that's why we're up on Freethinker TV so we can get the conspiracy
Mm-hmm.
friends up. I'm looking at some Trump arrest stuff right now because they're asking about that. I think he's getting arrested or whatever, indicted for something that already he won the case on. Like their main thing, isn't their main point that he paid what's her name off with campaign funds or something?
Yeah, the blonde.
Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
But Stormy Daniels lost that case and owes Trump money from it. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so how are you going to then go back later and then be like, "Hey, we're going to indict you on this case that you already won?" Is
It's
that
weird. But I read that they had like 30 or 40 charges on Trump.
yeah,
I,
second.
I I didn't dive into that at all. I don't get it. But it seems to me like if they're gonna arrest him, maybe go look at Hunter Biden first.
Well,
Like,
that's the funny part, is that there's so much corruption. And here's the thing. I don't know that you know this, but Bill Clinton paid off that chick Jennifer Flowers in the exact same way to get rid of her during his presidency or run for the presidency.
is she the one who sucked him off?
No, that's you're thinking of the brown-haired girl, Monica Lewinsky.
Yes. That's her.
Yeah, no, that's not
Yeah.
even.
Oh, okay. I want to know who's on that Epstein Island list. I think
Well,
that's more interesting than arresting fucking Trump.
that's apparently out, but
Yeah, but no one's getting arrested though.
yeah, no one's getting arrested, and they're not really. It's like you need to be in the black web or whatever to find it, and the fact that I think, I mean, you can find it, probably like Reddit or whatever, but I think, just like you said, the fact that it's not being brought up in the mainstream news and nobody's being arrested makes everybody just go, and
Yeah.
kind of feel like it's a fake cause because, otherwise people should be getting in trouble, right? But if it's all the people on that side, of course it's not like people that are on the media side or whatever, the same people suppressing it, they're not going to get arrested.
Yeah, of course not. But I mean, that list to me, that's probably the one. Like, if you're gonna look at dirty politicians and powerful people, that's the one thing in the last few years that is like, why isn't that resolved yet? Everybody should be up in arms about that. But of course, the mainstream is not talking about it, so nothing happens. By the way, did you see that Dalai Lama?
Dude.
Wasn't that crazy?
And he's just like, my bad, everyone. My bad.
Yeah.
They're like, okay.
My bad. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. That's just the crazy. Suck my tongue. What the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the actual list. I had found it.
What, the Epstein Island list?
Yeah, here you go.
Did you find it?
Yeah. I mean, allegedly. We're going to go with what it is.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, I got it up already. Adam Perry Lang. I don't know who that is. Akon. Alan Dershowitz. Akon.
Really?
Alberto Pinto. Alec Baldwin. Alyssa Rogers. Anderson Cooper. Andrea Mitronovich. Andreas Pastrana. Colombia. They're running for Colombian president. Anthony Kiedis. Audrey Rambolt, Barack Obama, Ben Affleck, Beyonce Knowles, Bill Clinton, Bill Hammond, Bill Murray, which is very sad.
Yeah.
I hope he never went back. Brian Affleck, whoever that is, Effeck, Karen Casey, Casey Wasserman. That sounds like that big Wasserman Schultz, whatever it is, lawyers. Charlie Sheen, Chelsea Handler, Chris Tucker, Chris Wagner, Chrissy Teigen, Cindy Lopez, Claire Hazel, Courtney Love, Dan Schneider, David Koch, David Yarovesky, Demi Moore, that's also sad, Doug Band, Ed Tuttle, Ehud Barak, Ellen Spencer, Emmy Taylor. It's like most of these names I don't know. Ghislaine Maxwell. Gwen Stefani. I'm just slipping through now to ones that I recognize.
There's a shit ton of people on that list.
James Franco.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jones. Or Jeffrey Jones. Not the Cowboys owner. It was who I thought it was at first. Jim Carrey, Jimmy Kimmel, Joe Pagino, John Cusack. He was trying to get his career back, that's all. John Legend.
John Legend?
Yep. Well, John Legend is married to Chrissy Teigen, right? And there's tons of stuff going on about...
Oh, really?
About Teigen for some reason.
Shit, I don't have time to look into all these. I mean, there's so many damn.
You got to follow the right
things happening.
Yeah, you got to follow the right accounts that post this stuff all the time.
Although I do follow a lot of good ones, but I don't have time to like look into all the stuff
Yeah.
that I
Oh,
see.
yeah.
It's like it's too much.
Kathy Griffin, Katy Perry, who's also sad because she's hot. Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Did you see her eye freaking out on the live thing?
No,
I think she's a robot or something.
maybe.
She's like half paralyzed. Her eye went like this during a live performance.
Oh yeah.
Started lagging. Yeah, it was weird as hell, man. You
Maybe
could probably find
she's
that.
maybe she's a clone or something.
Maybe.
Um,
Ryan is asking, would we do an episode on the alien psyop? I would love to do an episode on that.
What
That'd be
alien
fun.
psyop? The Blue Beam, Project Blue Beam?
I don't know what exactly he's talking about, but anything like that would be hilarious.
Okay,
It'd be
well
fun.
let's do it. Let me know what rabbit hole you want us to go down, and we'll do it.
Yeah.
Hold on, Kevin Spacey. Looking for some other Madonna, obviously, because she looks like the Catwoman now. Marshall Mathers the Third, which is also bummer. Meryl Streep, Naomi Campbell. She also was trying to get her career back.
Mm-hmm.
Oprah Winfrey.
Mm-hmm.
Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Robert Downey Jr. Seth Green.
Shit.
Yeah. Stephen Colbert. Steven Spielberg. Steven Tyler. Took out a bunch of Stevens right in a row there.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks. Wanda Sykes. Will Ferrell.
Dude.
Will Smith.
Have you looked at Tom Hanks's Instagram?
No.
Dude, I'll just open it to see if it's still the same. Tom Hanks Instagram. Because fuck, why can't I get on that one? Tom Hanks.
The Book of
Shit.
Charlie, How to Rig an Election.
Dude, Tom Hanks' Instagram, you know what it used to be? I don't know if it's still like that. He would post pictures of like clothing items, like a glove or a shoe that's been dropped on the floor, like or on the ground outside.
Mm-hmm.
But it would all be children's clothes. It was super weird, man. There would be like kids' gloves on the floor, and he'd post a picture of that, or a kid's shoe. And that's all his Instagram.
So yeah, there's a picture of a purple glove on the top of a little fence or a railing or something.
Yeah.
And it says, "I lost my partner. I was walking in the park. Now alone at last."
Yeah, he's a fucking weirdo.
Haiku by
I'm
Hanks.
not surprised he's on that list. Tom Hanks is a weirdo.
Let's find some other. He does have some other stuff on here, but.
Yeah, it's been a while since I saw it.
Oh, Grassroots Fest with President Joe Biden and Tom Hanks. August 18th.
Look at that.
Did that already happen? Was that last year?
Dunno.
Here you go. Here's a handkerchief. Look,
Yeah.
Little Lost Bunny, Hanks.
Isn't that weird?
Yes, that is weird. Yep, here's a card, and I don't know what that is. Look, I hit on a king and a deuce. I don't understand. A lot of it doesn't make sense. And he's got these IV bags. Oh,
Yeah.
plasma. I guess he's getting cancer treatment. Yeah, it is weird. Let's see what we got. Yeah, tell me what alien psyop, military pilot revelations. Everyone on the Epstein list, 8 obviously blackmail operatives. Yeah. Tom Hanks, Isaac Cappy. Everyone forgot already. What is Isaac Cappy?
I don't know.
See, Swayze remembers.
Bubs can tell us.
Remember the 30-something woman claiming that her father made arrangements with Tom Hanks to let her be his little playboy?
Play toy.
Play toy.
I do remember hearing something about that, actually.
How? So I dove into this on another thing before, but Jim Carrey.
Mm.
So he was he had said like back when Epstein first got caught. I'll see if I can find him because he actually deleted his whole Twitter, yeah, it was Twitter. But so he had made, when Epstein got caught initially, he was like had made some post saying that Epstein had a flight log with all these big and powerful people that had gone to the island, or he had some island where they, where whatever, had kids captive. I'll have to find it. And he's basically like, I would hate if any of those people, if the list got out and any of those people got embarrassed or this or that. And then drew a bunch of friggin' pictures, apparently, of the trial of Epstein and kept posting them up. And then it turns out he's on the flight log. Then as soon as somebody calls him out for being on the flight log, he threatens to sue them and then deletes his whole Twitter.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
I just put Jim Carrey, Epstein, Twitter. Did his Twitter pop back up? Images.
Isaac Cappy. Man, I need to look up this Tom Hanks thing. Thanks, Bubs. Isaac Cappy. Tom Hanks.
All right. Is that what we're looking at?
Oh, the Isaac Cappy conspiracy. There's like a video on YouTube about it. It's funny how a lot of these people connected to stuff like this die.
Yeah.
There's not, they just disappear. Didn't we touch on that the last time we talked? It was the Clinton suicide list.
Maybe. It's like a ridiculous.
It was like 50 people or some shit. Like, in some way, they knew the Clintons that had killed themselves.
Here you go. Oh, it is a video. That won't load. Tom Hanks accusations by Marvel actor Isaac Cappy from 2008.
My name is Rorschach. Cousin from Scotland.
What the hell is
short
this?
To me shortbread, called me up, asked, can I look into these rumours? Hollywood actor, some BS, some truths. The only truth I can go on is what fate has butchered and decided to feed me. Let me see. Hollywood star, Tom Hanks. Accusations, little evidence, a periscope video. Isaac Cappy, sketchy looking individual, ran his mouth and it ended up a turd in the gutter. It's rewind time, July 2018.
Steven Spielberg is a pedophile. Yep.
Whoa.
See how easy that was, Corey? I didn't need $10 million. I just said it. Oh, I'm not going to talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also a pedophile. Tom Hanks, folks, is a pedophile. I'm sorry if this is the kind of bursting your bubble, all this information is new. Tom fucking Hanks, guys. Pedophile. Called out, no response. There's this girl, Sarah Ruth Ashcraft, on Twitter, who has been accusing Tom Hanks of raping her when she was 13. Her dad sold her to Tom Hanks. She's been accusing him for months and months and months and months and months. He's never addressed it. I saw the gun allegations, and I saw him like, oh, they're just jokes. I'm like, bro, I know who you are. I know you. I've met you. Is Oprah a pedophile? Well, let's see. Hanks Weinstein, I mean, the company she keeps, as rich as she is, I don't care. I've already been blacklisted. They can't double blacklist me. They can try to kill me. You know, good luck with that.
It'd be pretty easy to kill someone if they wanted to.
Okay, so hold on. You're not seeing it. So then it says, hold on. Historic Route 66 roadkill, question mark. I hope not, Hanks. Also just one glove. This is 8:59 p.m. on the 4th of April 2019. Died the 13th of May 2019. So 1 month to kill him. Thor actor Isaac Cappy commits suicide, leaves behind note on Instagram. They're just showing pictures here. Actor Isaac Cappy dead after he forced himself off a bridge and was hit by a car. Forced himself off a bridge, exactly, and hit by a car. Isaac Cappy murdered on Route 66. This is a it looks like it's a video from Isaac Cappy dies on Route 66 on the 13th. It's weird because Hank's post said roadkill on Route 66.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it has that they tested positive for coronavirus. Tom Hanks' son Chet gave an update on his parents' condition after they tested positive. Okay.
Yeah, it's true. My parents got coronavirus. Crazy.
And the kid has an Illuminati triangle on his chest. I guess that's the crux of this whole thing. So yeah, that's interesting.
The more I look at, whenever I'm on Instagram or wherever, there's always some pedo shit coming up, and the groomers and the LGBT, the alphabet people. Actually, can I ask you something? And maybe the whoever's watching, I want to hear your opinion about it. Because so I have 2 kids. My oldest son is 2.5, and he goes to kindergarten. And so one day, my wife, she usually drops him at kindergarten. She calls me like 5 minutes after, and she tells me that there was a substitute teacher in there, tall as shit, with a skirt on and long hair, but she was like 90% sure this is a dude. And she knew I was not gonna be a big fan, But also, she said that she wasn't sure it was a man, and I was like, okay, but we'll see what happens, And then it is a dude. I've been there. I've seen him myself. Even talked to him. But my reaction was like, that's not cool. And I know it sounds like I'm a bigot, but it's not because he's a transgender person. But for me, it's like, there's a high likelihood that you have a mental disorder. And that's the reason I don't want you around my kids. Same as wouldn't want like any other mental disorder around my kids. And also, I would have to admit that I'm like, I hope you're not, teaching my son about these kind of things. Because I'm not there. I can't. It's hard for me to know what you're actually talking to the kids about.
Well,
what's your take on that?
That's the problem with. I mean, that's the whole. Here's the thing. When I was a kid, they never. I didn't know how my teachers voted. I didn't know their sexual preference. I didn't know anything. So I feel like it's almost it's almost this weird thing where they're they're like getting, off by being cross-dressed and being around all these kids or something. Doesn't it seem, why are so many people that want to, like, why do they want to be around kids?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I don't understand. Like, you can do you, wear a skirt, wear a dress, wherever you want, but why do you have to be around kids? It's so weird to me. And it's not, I know it sounds stupid. Like, even my wife said it. She was like, but maybe he's a great person with like good values and morals and everything. And maybe he's just normal, but he likes wearing a dress. It's whatever. Yeah, sure. It might be. That might be the case. Sure. So I can't do anything about it because I might be
Yeah.
wrong. But on the other hand, it's like, what are you talking to my kids about? Are you telling my son that, hey, if you want to, you can be a girl?
Yeah.
Like, don't confuse him. You know what I mean? Like, and also, like, even if you look like a woman, and this dude, he doesn't even, I guess he could kind of pull it off, but not really. Like, I could tell immediately he was a man. And he sounds like a dude. Like, my son is going to be like, hey, why are you in a dress?
I was going to say, that's confusing enough on its own, right?
Exactly.
Being like, whoa, my teacher sounds like a guy, but then pretends, acts like a female. The thing is, so I even did a show about this a long time ago, and I would think that like how most of this stuff happened, or my theory is that because of our food and stuff and all the stuff in the environment, we don't have the proper amount of hormones that we should have. Which anybody knows, like, what happens when somebody wants to transition? The first thing they do is hormones, right? So if you don't have the correct amount of testosterone or whatever, of course you're gonna feel like you're not in the correct body, right? You're gonna go like, I just feel weird. And it's not that you are in the wrong body, it's that you don't have the amount of the correct hormones that you're supposed to have to feel the way you're supposed to feel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think
that makes a lot of sense, actually.
There are probably a couple of people, not like just a couple, but like I'm sure there is a very small percentage of people that legitimately feel like they were in the wrong body or something like that. But I think exponentially, it's more so now because it's become a bigger thing. It's more so people being influenced by this stuff, and also hormones are no good. Their hormones are bad. Then they hear all this other stuff, and then they go, well, maybe I'm whatever. And then just like this Dylan Mulvaney does the video, and then all of a sudden they get millions of views, and now they get some affirmation from that makes them feel good. So then they're like, well, this is the path that I need to be on,
Yeah, I agree. That's, of course, there are people who genuinely feel that way, maybe even from childhood. Of course, that's a real thing. It's not like I'm saying that it's all fake. But even if it is, though, like, even if a person, I don't know, it sounds kind of harsh, I guess, from my side, but it's like tough luck. Like, it's just tough luck sometimes,
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do everything that everybody else can do. It's the same if you're psychotic or if you're schizophrenic.
That is a very interesting. We love to diagnose stuff. When are we going to diagnose that? You know what I mean?
Already, it's gender.
Oh yeah, gender dysphoria.
Yeah, but now they're talking about it as if it's like a good thing to be confused. I don't get it. It's so.
Well, people are getting rewarded.
Yeah, you can win Woman of the Year in just 6 months after transitioning. And dude, I saw one where there was like a beauty pageant in the U.S. somewhere, and there was a picture of all the women in it, and it was like, guess who the dude is? And there was a fucking huge fat, like, obviously a guy with makeup and long hair and a dress.
Tell me
and
he won.
He won the thing. I'm like, What the fuck?
Like,
Like,
who... How does... How do those people go along with it? Like, how does this become a thing and then the committee that's voting for the pageant is like, yeah.
yeah, exactly. You know that swimmer.
I was
What's
just
the
gonna bring
swimmer's name?
that up. You're gonna talk about the trophy because they tied.
No, not that, but like the what's his name? Ian something
Yeah,
Thompson?
yeah,
No,
yeah. I think it's Thompson.
Thompson something. So he won the NCAA whatever swimming contest versus the females, right?
Right.
And then now one of those chicks who I think she was supposed to win, or at least she was on the podium. She's speaking out about it.
So they
Right?
tied. I saw a video just recently because she's been
Oh,
speaking about it. They tied, and they actually the people from the tournament or whatever actually go to her. Hey, you guys tied, but we don't have two first place trophies, and we Leah, and they go,
Leah,
we
yeah,
have to
yeah.
give it to Leah for photo ops
I
or
heard that.
whatever.
Yeah,
And she's
yeah.
like, wait, what? I've been doing this my whole life. They've been a girl for however long. They now get the trophy and the win because it looks better for pictures.
Yeah. And not only that, I saw that the girl I forget her name. She got attacked at like a college or something. She was talking about it
Yeah.
somewhere.
This
There was a
same
bunch
girl.
of the same like she was talking about it, and one of these alphabet people actually punched her in the face. Like it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, here you go. Former college swimmer says she was assaulted at an event opposing an inclusion of trans women in sports.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a how long
Former
is this
college.
video? It's longer than I thought. Um, but so here's the whole thing with this trans thing and most of the shit they push, right? Like critical race theory. That's what I was thinking. Like, how do you make people mad about this stuff? You like they basically the person that attacked her. I don't know if they're trans or not, but it's like the news making all this big fuss about it and painting this girl as like whatever
Transphobic.
transphobe, whatever you want to call it. There's all these
Yeah.
words for all this shit.
This is a stupid word, man. No one's scared of it.
I know.
Man.
That's what though is pushing these people to attack, right? Like, and it's
Yeah.
the same thing that critical race theory is going to do. You can't put kids into a classroom and then tell them that this kid is superior to you in society, so now you get to say slurs to him in class or whatever, or then make it so that the white kid can't say anything back or stand up for themselves, or you're I don't know how any rational adult thinks that that's going to then smooth the scenario out and not create more tension. You know, just like the same thing that with this whole Bud Light thing, right? Like, okay, let's say they did that and they did the Bud Light thing and they put them on the can. That's one thing and people are going to be mad. But if you put it online on news constantly and all these videos and you keep circulating it, you're going to not only get the Bud Light people mad, but you're going to get the trans people mad because you're just amplifying, you know what I mean? This
Yeah.
small rift in the ocean, but we're just going to fucking megaphone it to everybody so that,
Yeah.
you know, we get as many outraged people as possible, which seems to just be the whole...
Well, yeah, it's like divide and conquer, right?
Yeah.
It's like on purpose. But it's funny too. Like if you just walk out in society, wherever you live, you won't see the shit.
Right.
Like if you just walk outside, everything's pretty normal. Like the only time I actually get a little bit emotionally invested in it is when it's on kids.
Right.
With these like drag queens dancing, like stripteasing for kids and shit. That and you know, actually You know when they have like drag queen story time at the libraries?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about? But
Right.
anyways, they tried doing that in Sweden, in one in a library down south, like in the most southern place in Sweden. But we have a lot of Muslims here, like a lot. And I don't know, as soon as they announced it, people were just like, look, we're gonna burn down the library. Like, there's no way you're gonna put a drag queen to read for kids down here. Like, there's just no way. And so they ended up not doing it because it was like a safety thing.
Right.
But it's like, you don't even have to be religious to think that's fucking crazy. Why would you have a dude in a dress read for kids? Why? And why would you not ask him, like, why do you even want to do that? That's creepy.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole
What the
thing.
fuck?
Well, and I, I even see people, and it's like how much of them are just trying to, be like sensational. But I see people going, "Oh, if you have a problem with men in tights and stuff, I got bad news about the founding fathers." And then they pull up Bosom Buddies and all these other shows, and it's like, yes, but Bosom Buddies, that was not sexual and was not aimed at kids.
Yeah.
The founding fathers, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but I don't think we had the scenario that we have now. I don't think they were screwing with kids. Like,
Yeah.
it's a different scenario. Nobody's trying to ban drag shows. They're trying to ban drag shows for their children, which seems like a totally rational.
Yeah. But it's weird. It's like a global thing, dude. I saw a video the other day where there's a guy in France. They're in like an art gallery,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy he got thrown out of there for filming because the whole gallery was filled with paintings, and he actually showed one of the paintings, where it's super clear what it is. It's a child sucking off a grown man.
Yikes.
And it's like the whole gallery is full of this shit. Like, it's crazy. And like, obviously, people were throwing a fit about it because it's like, that's not cool. But they refuse to shut it down. Like, they just want to keep it open like that.
But why? This is the whole thing. Why would you?
Bob's
Why?
Cat has the answer, man.
Yeah.
Demoralization campaign. And he's right.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I mean, I agree. And that's why I think that, all this stuff that seems to be like all the side effects of the vaccines, which they're like, try to downplay and all that stuff.
All the coincidences?
Exactly. So let's say that. Let's say the food, like I'm forced to either believe that people are evil or that they're severely incompetent.
Yeah. More likely they're evil, I would say.
This is the point. This is what I'm saying. Like, to the best case scenario is our government and people in charge are severely fucking incompetent. You know what I mean? And it's like,
I would say they're R-worded.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, it's actually to the left. Like, I mean, look at what's the black lady in the White House?
I don't know I know who you're talking about, dude. She makes ridiculous
Biden,
fucking statements constantly.
She said that Joe Biden is the best speaker in the House.
Dude.
Man, he can't even form a sentence. My son is 2.5. He speaks clearer than Joe Biden.
Yeah, with old corn pop. And how about the rant he went on about being in a hot tub and kids rubbing his hairy legs and shit?
Yeah.
And we're just going to omit that and be like, it's all good.
Yeah, well, they won't show those parts on TV, right?
No.
Of course not. It's all a clown show, man. It's hilarious. In one way, it's funny because it's actually really entertaining, all these things. But on the other hand, it's like, what in the fuck has happened to the world?
Yeah.
Like, what in the actual fuck is going on? There's so many stupid things like, we shouldn't even be talking about like trans people. How is that an important issue anywhere? Like, it's not.
What? Yeah, exactly. The amount of shit that's been pushed just because we feel bad is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it is.
Uh, because that's what we're just to a point where we've been too comfortable in society, like we've been too safe for too long.
Yeah,
Because
for
if
sure.
you were actually trying to not be killed, guess what? You wouldn't be worried about your pronouns. You'd be
Yeah,
trying to not die. But instead, it's like, and I've said this before, and even let's say that the person is totally mentally, I mean, I guess I'm going to prove myself wrong here. Let's say a person seems totally fine, but they're like, one of the things my cousin said to me was that I was talking about we need money for everybody, not for trans people, not for veterans, not for homeless people.
yeah,
We need money collectively. We should all be trying to force the government to do the correct things with the money so that we can straighten stuff out. But instead, everybody's in their own little group crying for money
yeah,
and stuff for their people. And when I said something
yeah,
to my cousin, I was like, well, you think, because they said something about trans people, and trans people are killing themselves from being called the wrong thing. And I'm like, first off, because she was like, it's more important to get money to these people because they're killing themselves. I'm like, uh, soldiers are killing themselves at a ridiculous rate. I said, now,
yeah,
especially since the pandemic and they shut down a bunch of people's businesses, people's livelihoods have gone away, and now they're going to be suicidal and want to kill themselves. And if you're a person who's so soft that somebody calling you the wrong gender makes you want to kill yourself, you already had issues.
oh yeah.
Whether
That's not even like
whether
anything
they
could have made you kill yourself at that
exactly
stage.
this is my point. You were very close to the edge already. If
Of
that's all
course.
it takes to make you jump off. So it's like there's a bigger issue than the trans thing. There's the issue of just being so whatever, not confident that other people saying something would make you do something like that.
It's nuts. And also, like, why would you like that? We always do this. We like the weakest people in society. We all pander to them as if it's a good thing to be like. Why wouldn't you encourage people to get stronger instead of just I don't know. I
Well,
don't know
you
how to
see how
explain it.
everything
Being
is. They don't want strong people. They want you need to go and do therapy. You know what I mean? It's not, they don't want you to be able
yeah,
to handle this shit on your own.
of course,
They
yeah.
don't want you to
That's
be
what they
able
want.
to, yeah, use herbs and stuff to heal you. I mean, we've just set up these massive systems that need, like it's just like the mental health systems, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's going to happen if we just go, hey, everybody eat mushrooms and whatever, and they so let's say it's doctor whatever, you're only going to go in for a couple of visits if mushrooms or what's the other one, MDMA, if they
Yeah,
work
yeah.
as or ketamine therapy,
Hmm.
if these therapies work as well as they say that they do or it appears that they do, you're going to go in for one or two things and then you're done. These people aren't going
Yeah.
to have a running, just client to come in all the time. It's the same thing with medicine,
There's
and
no money in it.
the whole cancer, uh,
Hmm.
like the cancer thing makes me laugh because it's like they're not, nobody's in the cancer. I would love to be able to find out this statistic. How many people in the cancer institutes have been like, it's the food and then suicided themselves? Like, there's
Yeah.
gotta have been people over the past 30 years that's going, oh, it's clearly all the carcinogens that we feed everyone. Like, how has nobody
Dude,
drawn that fucking conclusion?
dude, actually, in the last maybe 4 days, I I've only eaten like I've nearly turned carnivore in the last week, and I was like, you know what? Because not only for my health, but also to make my life simple. I eat a lot of ground beef.
Yep.
Just because it's easy, you know. And dude, from day one, and I've done like low carb before, but like this time, from day one, my energy levels was great.
Yeah.
Even my asshole was feeling better. Like I barely have to wipe. Like everything has been way better. I stay like not saturated. What is
Satiated.
it? Satiated for way longer,
Yep.
and I just feel way better. I'll eat a little bit of carbs at night just because I don't want to be like super strict. Like still want to have whatever I feel like sometimes, but like eggs, meat, basically all animal products, and I feel great. In 4 days, I feel fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like at the gym, I'm better than I was 2 weeks ago. Like it's just I don't know. I think we talked about this the last time. I think, but diet is a huge part of why people are feeling so shitty in mentally and physically.
Yeah, and all and everything that the mainstream is pushing is bullshit. Low
Yeah,
fat,
obviously.
sugar free. As soon as it's sugar free, they add aspartame or whatever. Or if they take the fat out, then they do add sugar to that. So it's like,
They put seed oils and everything.
and then how about also? Did you hear that there was a big cattle place in
Yeah, Texas.
Texas blew up.
Yeah,
18,000 cows died.
I saw that. What an accident! How in the fuck would that blow up?
Exactly.
Out of
What
nowhere?
was in this milk plant that was so explosive? Somebody give me a.
Yeah, it's not fun, man. I don't know. It seems to be happening a lot in the U.S. Not so much here yet.
Because
They
we're the strongest, like, and I'm not talking shit, but like this is the
are.
stronghold that they need to
Yeah.
break in order
Yeah.
to be able to do what they want, right? Because just like you said about, you would have an issue if you tried to take us over. We would
Oh, for sure.
freak out.
Sweden is easy to take over. You could do whatever you want here. Without not to be like we're weak or anything like that, but it's not that. We just don't have the means to do anything about it.
Right. And you guys, I would even say population, you guys are probably way less than what we have.
Oh, way less.
Yeah, just
Dude,
because you guys are smaller.
We're 10 million.
Yeah. So that's.
California alone is like 20 or 30 million, I think.
Bub's Cat says he is 50, 180 pounds, and still skates all the time. Skateboard.
Yeah, Bob's cat. What a legend, man.
I'm assuming skateboard.
Bison every day. Every damn day, man.
I need to
Good
get
shit.
some bison or some elk. I need to order some of that.
You should, dude. I've been thinking about getting my hunting license, actually.
Dude, I can imagine hunting in Sweden. That would be awesome. What kind of deer do you have?
Shit. I don't know the names of them in
Probably.
English, all of them. It's like white-tailed deer, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
We've got a few different types of deer. We got moose. We can shoot some fucking moose.
Damn, that would be awesome.
You can hunt bears as well. You could hunt. What else do we hunt? Pigs. We have a lot of pigs. So there's like, and I mean, if you shoot a moose, imagine how a whole moose. They're probably like 1,000 pounds at least. Imagine how much meat that.
Yeah, exactly. That's we just got whitetails, which they're like 100. A big one's gonna be like 120 pounds or something like that. Maybe a little bit bigger than that, but that's like a big ass deer.
Yeah.
I pulled up. You got roe deer. Fallow deer, which look like kind of reindeer. Oh, that is a red deer. Where the hell?
We have reindeer as well, but I don't know if you can hunt them.
Well, they have this.
They're all up north.
Fallow deer, red deer, reindeer. The red deer look close. Sovas, best known of dried reindeer meat. Sorry, that's That's how they prepare it after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude, that would be. I feel like they're so much more robust. Like you could get elk and stuff here, but you'd have to go all the way out west.
Hey, dude, Ryan is asking, do you think that World War III is coming? And Bub's Cat just said it already started, or it already is on. I guess the 11th of March, would that be when COVID started?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
doubt that because I don't think wars are necessarily like regular wars at this point.
I think World War III is already going on. I just don't think it's going to be what we thought it'd be, like bombs and shit. They're just taking over in a nice way, making us slaves. Like, I don't think, you know, I
Yeah.
don't think they have to bomb countries anymore because you can just make everyone slaves. But maybe China and you guys and Russia will have some, I don't know. I'm not too well read on like actual war stuff.
I would say if anything actually happens at this point with us and well, have you heard that China and Russia basically got together and formed some kind of alliance?
And
Well,
everyone is switching away from the dollar too.
yeah.
There's been like 10 countries or some shit that just running from you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
doesn't look good, man.
And people are still going, Biden's a good president. And I'm like,
oh yeah, he's the best president we've had.
Where have you been? Are you on the same plane of existence that I am? Like, what is going on here? I say this all the time. People live in different dimensions, dude. And especially the divide is even further now because of algorithms or whatever you want to call it. You know, because you like a certain type of thing, and then they populate your feed with that type of thing. So like. You and I think you and I probably have similar feeds, but me and somebody else could have feeds that are like the people that are still. I've seen tons of stuff that come out that said that the masks didn't do anything. There are still people wearing them in the stores. You're telling me they're reading the same information that I'm reading? Like, I can't believe that.
Hell no. But it's like people have lost, and I'm not saying you and me, we might be wrong on a lot of things.
Could totally be wrong. It's happened before.
But I'll say this though. At least when someone asks me to do some shit, I use common sense. Like, is this actually like what is this mask? Or like, you know what's my fucking favorite is when they put the plexiglass and the stores like in between you and the person working there. But then to pay them, you have to go to the side and touch hands anyways.
Yeah.
It's like, what in the fuck is this? And if you can't think of that by yourself, like if you have to have someone tell you that that's ridiculous, most likely you've been a little bit brainwashed, I would say.
I think most people... I think you have two things going on. There's people that are just like, this is how it is, and people, they trust the government or whatever wouldn't set all this stuff up, you know what I mean, if it wasn't, and they don't even think about it. And then you have the other people that are the super intelligent people that basically, like doctors and stuff, they get told, this is how it is from the textbook, and this is the protocol, and they're just really good at retaining information, holding it, and then like reusing it. And it's the same reason, because people are like, all the doctors in our hospital are saying this, and I'm like, even this is right in the beginning, and I'm like, is your doctor in your hospital running tests? Are they doing any tests? Are they doing their own research? No, they don't have time to. They're a doctor at a hospital. So guess what? The tests and information and research is coming down from above to them. They're just following orders. And that's what good, intelligent people are across the board.
Yeah.
That's
exactly right. And also, like, look at medical school. If you say all the doctors are saying the same thing, first of all, not all of them are, because a lot of them are being censored.
Exactly.
Second of all, if they're saying the exact same thing, wouldn't you be like a little bit like, that's kind of weird? Like, Well, you should get a few different perspectives if you go to a few different doctors.
You would hope so.
Yeah, but like that's where you get second opinions, right? It's like sometimes they're right, but sometimes a second doctor will come in and say, "Hey, actually, I don't think you need surgery on your knee."
Right.
Like, but they don't learn about like how many hours do you think they spend on diet in medical school?
It's like 2 hours on nutrition or
Yeah.
something like that. It's not very much.
Yeah, it's like, wouldn't you? I don't know. I'm kind of sick of this. The Science can be a really good thing, but I think we've lost our inherent what would I call it? Like just common sense feeling of what is right and wrong. Because now anything you say, "Oh, I feel really good when I eat when I'm on the carnivore diet." Then people will say, "Well, actually, the science suggests that you should eat some bread."
Yeah.
Like, I don't need science for everything I fucking do in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need a doctor to tell me exactly everything. I have a brain. Like, I feel good.
Yeah, but this is the
Shouldn't that
whole.
be good?
This is the U.S. with diagnosis. Everything
Yeah.
gets diagnosed, right? Like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. That's a bullshit. It's a diagnosis, but it's a bullshit diagnosis.
Change your diet, you're gonna feel better.
Well, that's the thing. They're like, you have irritable bowel syndrome. Or maybe you continuously eat something that bothers your bowels. There could be that. You have a syndrome of eating stupid shit every day.
You know what the syndrome actually is? It's bad habits. Is what it is. You just have bad habits. That's all it is. I actually saw and two, not I don't know if he's right or wrong. And Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
And that whole thing. He said something when he was on, was it Piers Morgan's show or something, where he said he doesn't believe in depression. He doesn't believe that that's an actual thing. Like, and I was like, that's interesting because we all know people who are depressed, right?
Yeah.
But when he explained it, it makes complete sense. He's like, most people, almost everybody, if you say you're depressed, it's situational.
Yeah.
If you change your life, you would no longer be depressed. You're depressed because your life sucks in some way. That's why rich people can also be depressed because maybe their relationship sucks. It's fixable. It's not. You don't need pills. You need to fix your fucking life.
But that's a
And
racist
it makes
statement.
a lot of sense. That's a racist statement. Of course it is.
Dude, even drug addicts, I will say the exact same thing. And I know they got studies that show an alcoholic's brain lights up the same way on their third drink as they do on their first drink, blah, blah, blah. But I have been kind of hooked on pain pills to an extent. Like there was definitely a point when I was younger where I was eating pain pills after getting hurt. I found out how fun they can be. And then I continued to eat them. And what drew me out of it was the fact that I really loved riding and I wanted to be operating at as high of a level as I could to ride and run my business of booking freestyle shows.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what pulled me out of it. But I've had friends get into drugs and then they don't see a clear path out of the situation, or they don't, you know what I mean? There's other things going on and they're just not happy enough to get themselves out of it. I would say that most people that turn to drugs and alcohol at some level are unhappy with their lives, which is basically they're like, the best thing I have, or the thing that takes that pain away are the drugs. So that's why they get into the drugs. I don't think people are like just predisposed to being a drug addict. I don't believe that.
No, and I mean it's a horrible thing. It's depending on the drug. I think it could be very, very hard to get out of that. But if you have meaning and purpose in your life, you find something that you find meaningful. I think that's the solution. It's not to go to and also environment. I heard this thing, and I think it's actually true. You know when the Vietnam War was on,
Mm-hmm.
and tons of soldiers were getting hooked on heroin,
Yeah.
and they so in the I think this is stats from the U.S. So in when people go to rehab in the U.S., 90% of them when they get out of rehab, they go back to the drug because what happens? They go back to the same neighborhood where they took the drugs. When the soldiers from Nam came back, it was the figures had swapped. Only 10% of those soldiers kept using heroin in the U.S. So
Yeah.
90% of the soldiers who were abusing heroin in Vietnam got off it as soon as they came home, basically.
Yeah, different
Because the
environment.
environment. Yeah.
Exactly. And they're not under that pressure that they were in. I'm sure that a lot of that was just trying to escape from being
You're in a
so
war. You're in a
fucking, yeah,
fucking war
exactly.
zone. Yeah. It's traumatic. Like, it's crazy. Dude, I have to get going, actually.
Good. I got to do something else too. We're almost at 2 hours, so I think this is the longest one. We were
Yeah, it was fun, though.
Bub's Cat and Swayze over here. So
Yeah.
um
Bob's Cat. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, stay tuned. We'll be back next week, right?
yeah, and shoot me any ideas you guys have. Put it in comments or just email me, Clint Esposito. Try to keep it simple for everyone. But just shoot me some stuff and we'll dive into it and do some research, and then we will catch you guys next week.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
All right, guys.
Later, everybody.
Weekend.
We're out. Yeah, have a good weekend. And don't get shot up by AZ SWAT. All right, Bubs Cat? Stay